Today I'm going to talk to you all about Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. It's a sci-fi fantasy story in that the setting is very futuristic. It never really said what city, but it takes place, in a time in the future. The main characters are Guy Montag and his wife and his neighbor Clarice, and then Captain, I said Beatty, but some people say Betty. And the overall what's going on here is it's in the future, and the firefighters actually set fires. They burn books. There's a big war against books going on here, and that's the main purpose of the story. Books are banned overall, and people are getting together and collecting books and burning them. I chose this book because it was recommended to me by a few classmates. I typically never read science fiction because I typically don't like them whatsoever. So when more than one of my friends said that they read this and they liked it, and I needed to read a science fiction rather than the typical love stories that I love to read, they said that I would like this one, so I thought, well, we'll give it a try, and I did like it overall. My favorite literary element in this story was the symbolism. And that was, I picked two favorite ones, and that was the hound and the phoenix. And in the story, the hound is like this mechanical hound that just kills stuff for it, just on its own. And it reminded me of some current events that we've got going on. It reminded me of Malala, actually. Malala, the girl that was shot because she's fighting for women's rights to learn in the Middle East. Because over there they're harming people and killing people for their desire to learn. And that was pretty much what's going on in Fahrenheit 451. So people are wanting to learn, they're wanting to keep their books, but these firefighters are burning them all. Books are banned. I really didn't have a least favorite literary element in the story because it was overall a good story. I really don't have anything negative to say about it. Nothing negative about the literary elements. I liked this book, I did, overall, because it was something different for me. I've never read anything like it. I've never read another science fiction novel, to be honest. Most of the books I read are very Pride and Prejudice, Nicholas Sparks, love story, happy ending, good stuff like that. So it was something different for me, and it kind of opened my eyes to how important books are to me, because I'd never really put myself in the position to think, what if they were banned? What if I didn't have them? How would my life be then? I'm fortunate to be able to read books. I'm fortunate to be able to read this book. But what if I wouldn't be? And I would recommend this story to all young minds, because we do take this stuff for granted. And that could just be because of our culture. We can't hate ourselves for not taking pride in our stories. But we do need to learn to appreciate the books that we have more. Because at the end of Fahrenheit 451, what they do is they decide they make these kind of rebel groups, and they read these novels and they keep them in their minds. So they say when society does change, when society does learn to have an appreciation for literature again, we will remember these books and we will give them back. I'm glad I read this novel.